Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please take a moment to do that today. Alright, so continuing on through our exploration of the stories of Ray Bradbury, we are on story number 88 of 100 in this collection. Today's story is called The Poems. Unfortunately, I could not find a publication date. So, David the poet lives in a valley with his wife Lisa. One day he discovers that through the power of his pen, whenever he writes a poem, he would capture something. At first it is just a flower or a nearby valley or dell. Later he learns to capture the wind, and he's sort of tickled by the power of his own pen. He begins to sell these poems, and people are obsessed by them. They are just enamored and enraptured by the magnificence of his writing. He gets excellent reviews. He begins to buy into the power of his own legend, to his own success. And this, of course, breeds ambition. Soon he wants to write about bigger, more complex things. He's writing about people, possibly capturing them into his poems as well. And his wife Lisa becomes disturbed by this ambition. Eventually, he's so caught up in his own story that he wants to write about things on a cosmic scale, and he begins to write. But she, fearing this and what the implications might be, having wanted nothing more in her life than to have a small, quiet life in this valley where they live, she gets him drunk and sort of directs his writing. And before we know it, them and everything in their valley have disappeared. He was writing about the universe, and ultimately we learned that she convinced him to write about David and Lisa, a young couple living in the Garden of Eden. One day, the publishers and critics come by to get find out where his next book of poems are, and everything is gone. It's a barren wasteland that they can't explain, and apparently Lisa used her influence over her drunk husband David to put them into the Garden of Eden, to put them, sort of immortalize them in his final poems, which were found sort of blowing on the breeze in the rubble of where they had otherwise been. So this story really makes literal something that I think is very real in the world of art. You see people, and they are artists, and they often create their best work fairly young, which it seems weird because you think you'd hone your craft and increase it and make it better, but the problem or the danger is celebrity. You begin to understand your own power. You begin to be affected by the praise, as David was, and his ambition gets ahead of the story. At one point, or gets ahead of the art. At one point in the story, he's getting where he wants to write about cosmic events and the universe and the stars and galaxies, and she's like, no, you have to start small. And artists have a way of forgetting that, I think, when they get caught up in their own success, and that is the danger of sort of the mainstream world, I think. Ambition can be a good thing because it drives you to create, but at the same time it can destroy you, both your art as well as your life. And we've seen so many weird celebrities, right? They sort of self-destructed or imploded on the merits of their own drinking their own Kool-Aid, I guess is a good way of putting it. But that is what The Poems is about. The Poems by Ray Bradbury, story number 88 of 100 in this collection. I like it, it's, I don't know, 6 or 7 pages. It's beautiful in its own way. I think you could actually do it if you were to adapt it almost as a horror movie, I think. I'm somewhat reminded of what was the Stephen King story about the author Johnny Depp played in the movie? Was it The Secret Window? Where his characters are coming to get him. I think John Turturro was in it, but you could definitely do something like that angle, and but have it play out on a cosmic scale by the end of the movie, and you could have stars come crashing down because this author has gone tue far, and the power of their own words has become too powerful. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. We're going to wrap up this collection here pretty soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. After that, we're going to move on and do some novel reviews, as well as by Halloween, I'm hoping to dive into the short fiction of Clive Barker. So we're going to go back to the horror genre for a while here on Let's Talk. Please subscribe. If you have something positive to say, leave a comment below. Of course, give this video a thumbs up. Give all my videos a thumbs up, please, because that helps with the SEO. And I'll see you later.